I'm going to teach you about something called SMART goals. Now, when you translate this into Burmese, this is not going to work. You're going to have to come up with a different way of explaining this. In the United States, if you say SMART goals, people know what you mean. And that means that your goals are specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're relevant, and they're time-bound, right? All this is the criteria that you use for a SMART goal. And why is this important? Because then it really focuses on what you want to do. It really gets down to the detail of what you're trying to accomplish. Now, this seems really easy. It's not. You're going to see this morning when you work, this afternoon when you're working on your goals, that we'll have to go over and over again a little bit about this. When you teach this, you're going to have to be patient with people, because this is a kind of a new concept for some people if they haven't done this before. How many people, I'm sure some of you know about the SMART goals, right? You've heard of these SMART goals. But if not, this knowing how to do this will be a skill so important for you in your job as librarians that you're going to be so happy that you learned it, even though it wasn't so fun while you were doing it the first time. So we're going to work on this a little bit. Which of these two goals, the first two, actually, the first, let's look at the first two. 50% of library users will become more literate, and the circulation of materials to users between the ages of 5 to 14 will increase by 10%. Two. Even though this looks pretty good, right? What's the problem with this goal? Yeah. How do you measure this? Also, 50% of library users, you may not know exactly how many library users, right? And so this is not so good. Okay, down this here, 120 new library users will sign up for membership card. 10% of community users will sign up for a new membership cards. Three. Even though this sounds good, right? But how do you define your community? How do you define your community? And you have to be very careful when you're doing this, especially in a proposal or you're asking for funds. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you can't measure, you can't attain what you've told them you're going to do, because they're going to hold you to this. If you say this and all of a sudden in your community you get 10,000 refugees, you are all of a sudden, now what are you going to do? Whereas if you have 120, okay, you know that you can reach that, right? So again, but what's missing from all these goals? Time frame. By when is that going to happen? Yeah? You see what I'm getting at a little bit? Okay. There's one more. Okay, so which of goal here has the best timeline? The circulation of materials to users between the ages of 5 to 14 will increase by 10% in the next year. Or 120 community members will sign up for membership cards by December 30th, 2016. Two. The more precise you can get, the better. It is much better when you're writing something like this to write down a timeline, and if you can't reach the timeline, to explain why you weren't able to reach the timeline, than it is to have something vague, because people don't like vague. They don't understand it, and also holds you accountable, because you know that you wrote this and this is what's going to happen. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Any questions? All righty, so you're ready then. All righty, so I want you to take the innovative idea that you had yesterday. Do you remember the idea? And I want you to turn it into a SMART goal. And I'm going to give you, well, I showed you some examples here, but this is one example of another one. So you're going to turn to your workbook and you're going to see the action plan. I can't remember what page that's on. 9. And you're going to look back at what you wrote yesterday as your innovative idea, and you're going to change your innovative idea into a SMART goal. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay, and then Rebecca and I are going to go around and make sure that we approve of your SMART goals. So you've got 15 minutes, so And consult at the table also. You can share back and forth and see what others think of what you're trying to do.